Hiya, welcome back to Makeup and Metaphors with myself, Anya, where we read books and serve looks, usually. But today we're going to do a follow-up from where I decided to change my hair from like a dark brown to this lovely grey colour. So I have been upkeeping it, and as you can see, it has maintained grey very well. So I'm going to talk about the products that I use to maintain the grey in the parts that have been bleached, and also it has been quite healthy. People have commented on it to say that for hair that went from dark brown to this bleached, and that it's been alright, that it stayed quite healthy. I've not had that much breakage, just a little bit around my face, because obviously that's where you straighten it the most and where you kind of mess with it the most. As you can see, my roots are quite long at the moment, so they're like about to here, so quite a lot of roots. It's even worse when I tie my hair up. Sometimes when I tie my hair up, you actually can't even tell that it's grey unless you can see it in the ponytail. For some reason it must grow a lot faster around my temples, and that's where my natural grey hairs are, but it still is just a slightly different colour. So today we're going to try and get it all one colour and looking a little bit better kept. So I've got my mixing bowl ready. So I have an actual lunchbox instead of a traditional mixing bowl, which is here just because it's teeny tiny. There's some dried on bleach there, beautiful. So I've got my toner, I've got my cream peroxide in 6% or 20 volume from TruZone that I got on Amazon. I'll link that below. The exact same one that I used when I bleached my actual hair the first time. And then this huge pot here of Rapid Blue True Lights. I think this is a video that you can't be going around the table in, sweetheart. No, I'll have to put you outside. The very first thing that I did was I tidied up my desk a little bit to make sure that I only had the bits and bobs that I needed in front of me. As well as that, I put on a shirt that I do not care about at all, as well as some really old pajama bottoms, because they are absolutely going to get bleach on them and it will take all the colour out of it and basically look like a really bad tie-dye job. The first thing that I'm going to do is mix together my bleach. My hair is dry, and it's not dirty, but it's not freshly washed, and that's because it's really important to have like a little bit of a barrier, some of your natural oils there when you bleach your hair. So I need to have, to every 2 scoops of bleach, I need to have between 50 and 75 milliliters of the peroxide. So I'm going to do that now. So that's two scoops of bleach to around, I suppose, three and a half scoops of peroxide. 1 level scoop, 2 level scoop. And every time it runs out, I'm just going to redo that, just because I don't want to have loads of spare at the end. I don't want to make too much and then have to throw it away, just because I don't really want to waste my money. First scoop of peroxide, second scoop of peroxide, third and a half. I'm using quite a large brush because I want to cover a large surface area. This is my mixture. I'm just going to mix it together until it's smooth. And if there's anything I learned from years and years of dyeing my hair, messing with my hair, and having great outcomes and horrible outcomes with bleach, is that it's actually quite important to have quite a wet mixture. If you have a very dry, cakey mixture, it's not going to penetrate the hair follicle and it's going to be a complete waste of time. So it's important to follow the directions properly and to use the correct amount of peroxide. So this looks pretty good, pretty liquidy. I've stirred out all of the lumps. It's quite a smooth mixture. It's still kind of grainy, but it always is with bleach. So next is to divide your hair into 4 sections. So I've already divided down here. Just go all the way down the back and basically put them into pigtails. Then you're going to go to the very top of your head, the highest point. From there, just trace a line down to basically the back of your ear. Separate those 2 sections, and then you've got 2 sections on each side, and just pop them into ponytails. So apart from looking like I'm trying to get into an anime convention, then you can just tie up these bits here as well, which will look very interesting. Okay, once your hair is divided into 4 sections, then you can start taking the first section and start layering it. One thing I would definitely recommend for this is some of these kind of crocodile clips, so that you can just clip back all of the spare hair there so it doesn't get in the way of the bleach that you're putting on. This is when I put on the gloves. Some people put on the gloves from the start, but I just don't like to have them kind of in the way, I suppose, and I find the powder doesn't burn until obviously it's mixed with the peroxide. So I just prefer to have my hands free until this point. But now obviously that I'm going to be handling the bleach, it's time for some safety. At this point I'm going to speed through just doing the different sections of my hair. So I'm not going to go right up onto the root. I'm going to do that maybe 10 minutes before I wash it off, because as we talked about in the last video of me doing my hair, the heat of your scalp processes the bleach much faster. So right now I'm just doing kind of just before the root to meet where the rest of the grey colour is, just to lighten that bit up to then take the grey slightly better. And then 10 minutes before I wash it out, I'm just going to go back in and then massage bleach right at the root, just to make sure that I don't end up with white roots and then yellow banding just above where the dye is. At this point I think I'm just going to use the crocodile clip so that I can layer it quicker in between doing my roots. I'm not particularly careful when I do my roots because with this grey it's almost a little bit of a similar colour to my natural, and obviously if you have greys coming in as well, it blends it. It would be different if my hair was say black and I was going peroxide blonde, and it'd be very obvious if I missed any spots. So there are two on the back of this bit. Okay, so I've just finished doing section 1. And as you can see, it's already lightening a crazy amount. But I obviously blended the bleach down a little bit, and you can just see how quickly that is lightened. And that's why we're definitely not going up right until the roots just yet. So now I'm just going to section the other side, the exact same as what I've done there, and then we'll be halfway done already. Alright, so I've got the roots done on both sides now, apart from the very tips of the roots that's on my scalp, and now I'm going to move on to the front sections. Okay, we're looking slightly crazy right now, but I've done the roots and now I've gone in and I've massaged it up closer to the scalp so that hopefully we won't have any banding. I'm just checking it now maybe every few minutes just to make sure that it doesn't get too light or too damaged, and then I'm going to wash it out. Right, step 1 is complete. The roots are completely bleached. They look really good, really light. There's like a little bit of a pink hue where I've blended down the bleach to meet my own hair. I think I've blended it down a little bit too far at the front, but I just wanted it to be super light and look great. So the next step will be mixing up the hair dye that I use, so I'll just grab that. And that is the Colorista in Smoky Grey. And the reason why I didn't have to dye it again since I did it last month was because I bought this Bleach London Fade to grey shampoo, and it's the darker one. It's for slate coloured hair, and it's been depositing a little bit of grey on it every time I wash my hair, and that's why I've not had to top it up. So I'm going to section up my hair and get a move on. Mix bottle 1 and bottle 2 together, shake for about a minute, and then I'm going to section out my hair and begin the application process. I've gotten right up to basically the last section on that first bottle. I've just shaken up the second bottle, and hopefully then that'll be it all done, and I can do kind of another run through it to make sure that every single strand has been covered. I've blended it down a little bit further to the ends. I haven't really done the ends just so that they're not dyed and re-dyed too much, but I have blended it down a bit further just to intensify the original colour. That's the entire head covered. I'm just going to leave it on for about 40 minutes and then I'm going to wash it off. I'll show you what it looks like. Ta-da! This is it, all finished. I'm even happier than the first time I did it because now the roots are super duper light and they're a proper grey silver slate colour. It's super shiny, super healthy, all because I used as well, I didn't even use the intensive conditioner that came with the dye. Instead I just used the Bleach London Fade to Grey. I'll link them down below where I got them. They're not that expensive and they've lasted me quite a while already. So there we go, successful upkeep maintenance of hair. We had to trust the process. It looked a bit bad there for a while, but there we go. I also popped in some of this hair oil, which is actually from Bleach London as well. I had this for like a year or two. If it's still available, I'll link it down below as well. I just, when my hair is wet, I pop it in the ends before I blow dry it, and it gives it that nice shine, and also just gives it like a bit more moisture because the ends can be quite dehydrated, especially after you've used bleach. Then I blended it through. It does really dry up your hair, so that's what I did. If you'd like to follow my Makeup and Metaphors journey, please go over to Instagram and follow makeup_and_metaphors, where you can see me update pictures of my followers, pictures of my videos, some of the purchases that I make, which is far too many. I'm going to be updating a video probably one every fortnight now, just because I'm back to work after lockdown and I am busy. And I also don't want the quality to decline on what I'm doing. Thank you so much. I've just reached 900 subscribers as well. I can't believe that there's 900 people watching videos out there. I know that 1,600 people so far have already watched me dye my hair grey, so this is how I maintain my hair grey. Alright, I'll see you next week or in a fortnight whenever I put this up. Thank you. Bye.